Hi everybody, my name is Tilly and we are super excited to have you guys as our 2026 Ball Kids. Today I'm going to be running you through the Work Health and Safety, Heat Stress and Dehydration Management module. And pretty much we're just going to be discussing all about creating a safe and supportive workplace for everyone at the Australian Open. Alrighty, so starting off, why does work health and safety matter? Well, most importantly, the staff and volunteers' health and well-being. So you guys as our ball kids, we want to make sure that you guys are all good throughout the event and most importantly, have fun. Secondly, safety of the spectators. We do have a lot of people coming through the Australian Open, so we want to make sure they're all safe. Thirdly, event success. So being a Grand Slam is such a huge event and we want to uphold the highest of standards. And fourthly, to comply with work health and safety laws, which we will touch on later. Alrighty, so what is our role? So speaking more broadly here, we have a role to ensure the work health and safety of you guys at the AO. And so one way we do this is through our partnership with Safety Culture, who we've actually been partnered with since 2021. And pretty much they help us with training all the different teams, doing safety inspections, and not super relevant to you guys, but also the analytical side of things. So you will undergo a specific Ball Kids online training course with them, which pretty much just makes sure that you guys know all the safety regulations and things like that. They're a huge help to us. This year at the 2025 AO, they conducted over 2,400 inspections. So they do an amazing job for us. And if you wanted to find out a little bit more about that, I've just popped a video here, which kind of just shows you what they do and how they help our teams across the AO create such a safe and organized event. Okay, so starting off with a little example of what we're going to be talking about today, which is heat stress and dehydration. If you are a big tennis fan or an avid watcher of the AO, which I'm sure you all are being our 2026 Ball Kids, you may have seen this instance that happened this year at the Australian Open. So one of our Ball Kids actually fainted during the doubles match. When the match started, it was 5:30 p.m. It was still 34 degrees, so super hot even late in the afternoon. And someone in the crowd actually spotted that the ball kid was going to faint, and luckily one of the players caught him just in time. So this isn't to scare anybody, but it's more just putting emphasis on the fact that these things can actually happen if we don't look after ourselves, and if you're not taking the right sort of refreshments and fueling your body correctly, these sorts of things can happen. Alrighty, so what actually is heat stress? So basically it's what happens when your body can't cool itself down properly. And let's be real, at the Australian Open, it is a pretty significant challenge that we do deal with. So, we're dealing with high temperatures, huge crowds, lots of moving around. You guys are out on court and sometimes we often simply forget to just drink enough water. So I think, people do think sometimes it doesn't sound super serious, but if it's not treated properly, it really can impact your health and well-being. All right, so let's have a look at the risks. So if anyone has been to the Australian Open before, you know how intense our summer can get, even just here in Melbourne. You guys will be doing 8-hour days throughout the tournament. The sun's beating down. It's not just the players who feel it, but it's also you guys and spectators that are at risk. So looking at heat stress and dehydration as a risk, they can lead to things like reduced concentration, extreme sunburn, fainting, and in more extreme cases, even heat stroke. So as we see these increases in temperature, we need to remember the importance of prioritizing proper hydration and other measures to ensure that we keep each other safe. So this year alone at the AO, we saw over 1.2 million fans come through over the 3 weeks. So you can only imagine the crowds coming through. We want to ensure that both you and them are safe. So looking at the right side of the screen there, you can see a little graphic that I've popped in that shows from January this year at the Australian Open, we had 3 days over 35 degrees and 6 above 30. So it's definitely something we need to be aware of. If you're doing consecutive days in the heat, we've got to be really mindful of that to make sure that you guys stay safe. Okay, so now that we know what heat stress is, let's have a look at the symptoms. So these are the key symptoms to look out for in yourself and also others, especially during long shifts out in the sun and when you're in your break room. So you may notice things like dizziness or feeling faint, feeling really hot, nausea, headaches, feeling really thirsty, sweating a lot, muscle cramps, feeling tired or weak, feeling confused or poor coordination, and also having a rapid pulse. So if you or someone around you starts showing these symptoms, please do not brush it off. Let your supervisor know how you're feeling and get out of the heat, hydrate, and take a break. We would much rather you guys take an extra break that your body needs before it turns into something more serious. So please do not hesitate to speak up. All right, so now talking about how we can actually prevent heat stress before it becomes a problem. So firstly, staying hydrated is the most important. It sounds obvious, but when you're in the moment, there's lots going on. So please, when you're on your break, make sure you are sipping away on the water and Powerade provided, and fueling yourself with the correct foods, which we will provide for you guys. Secondly, making use of the cooling zones, especially when you're on your break again or walking around the ground. There's lots of shade and mist cooling fans. So please go sit in the shade, cool down and rest. Another big one is sunscreen protection. So we actually have a partnership with Bondi Sands, Australia. So you will see sunscreen hut stations throughout the grounds as well as in your team zones. So please make use of these, and also remember to reapply throughout the day. Even if the sun isn't out, you can still get burnt. Check in with each other in the morning. You guys will be put into your squad of 6. And we all know what it's like on a hot day. Sometimes we notice things in others before we notice it in ourselves. So please, we are one big team. Look after each other. And finally, speak up. If you are feeling unwell, there is no shame in needing a break or asking for help. Your health comes first. So please, we are there to support you, and reach out to us if you need anything. Alrighty, so now having a look at our support measures. So in 2014, we actually saw temperatures almost hit 44 degrees, and 9 players had to retire mid-match because of the heat. So as a result, in 2019, we introduced the AO Heat Scale, which ensures safe conditions for players, umpires, you guys as the ball kids, staff, and of course the spectators. So it's pretty much a system that measures multiple climate factors. So radiant heat, how hot it feels, air temperature in and out of the shade, wind speed and humidity. And these are in 5 spots across the grounds. The scale starts at 1 and extreme temperatures are reaching at 5, which is the suspension of play. So you guys will be, when it gets to a certain scale, you will no longer do 1-hour rotations, you'll do 45-minute rotations. And it's pretty much just designed to protect players and you guys by providing clear guidelines on when to hydrate, cool down, take extra breaks, or stop play altogether. Alrighty, so having a look at our legal obligations. So under the Work Health and Safety Act 2011, Tennis Australia has a legal responsibility to look after everyone at the Australian Open. So this means we're required to identify and manage risks such as heat stress, long hours, working in crowded areas. We're required to provide a safe working environment for you guys. So things like access to shade, water, breaks. You guys will do 1-hour rotations followed by a 1-hour break. We are also required to monitor the health of you guys. So we've got our supervisors and leaders out, and they will be checking in with everyone, making sure that no one is showing any signs of illness or fatigue. We're required to provide information and training, so things such as this, and also we do that through our partnership with the Safety Culture. And we are also required to provide PPE, so things such as sunscreen, hats, your uniform, any equipment that is needed to do your role safely. Basically, it's about making sure that everyone feels safe and supported, and if they're not, they're able to speak up and let us know if something doesn't feel right. So this isn't just good practice, but it is also the law. So one way we do this is through our uniform for you guys. So looking at the 2023 AO Ball Kids uniform, it was made with sustainable material, but also most importantly, it had performance enhancing features. So things like stretch and moisture wicking properties, and also UV protection. So you can see there, long sleeve, you guys have got the hats. These are all things that we include to make sure that, you guys are protected from the sun. All right, now for a little true or false. So you were working an outdoor shift at the AO and start to feel lightheaded and dizzy. You just came off your break, so you decide to push through without telling anyone. Is this a safe decision? No, definitely not. These are signs of heat stress. So you need to stop, let your supervisor know immediately. You will be put on an extra break. And just, yeah, it's pretty much emphasizing the fact that your well-being is paramount and we would much rather you guys speak up. Doesn't matter if you just came off a break. We want you guys to be safe, so please do speak up. Alrighty, so to wrap it up, what can you guys do? So firstly, please do speak up. If you notice that someone's struggling or you yourself are feeling a little bit off, please do speak up. Secondly, look out for your team. Sometimes we do spot these signs in others before they spot them in themselves. So be there to support one another and, look out for each other. And thirdly, reach out, whether it's just for help or just to check in. It is always better to say something, and that is what our leaders and supervisors are there for. So at the end of the day, health and safety is everyone's responsibility, and most importantly, we want you guys to have fun. The AO is such an exciting event to be a part of, so let's stay cool, look out for each other, and please, as I said, do speak up if you do need anything. Again, my name is Tilly. It was a pleasure talking to you guys today, and we are looking forward to meeting you. If you need to get in contact with me, that is my email address and phone number, but otherwise we are super excited and look forward to seeing you guys soon. And sorry, below I have just linked all my references for the presentation.